Hey, beautiful people of the internet, how are you guys doing today? Hopefully great. Welcome to Budget Builds, where we use zero forma and achieve maximum efficiency. In today's video, we're taking a closer look at Chroma, our favorite community dragon. Before I continue with the video, please Spartan kick the subscribe button for more Warframe videos, and let's do this. So let's go over Chroma and his abilities. Starting off with his passive, wings sprout out for an additional jump and bullet jump. So in other words, while you're parkouring, you'll notice that wings coming out of Chroma. When this happens, you can assume that you've gained an additional bullet jump and normal jump. Moving on to his first ability, Spectral Scream. Exhale a deep breath of elemental destruction. Tap to cycle through elements. Hold to cast. The chosen elements apply to all of Chroma's abilities. So in other words, here's how this ability works. You are given 4 abilities: electricity, toxin, cold, and heat. Now, you can cycle through each one of them. You just have to hold down the button. Once you're happy with whatever element you've chosen, you push your number 1, and what's going to happen is Chroma will then blow whatever element you've chosen out of his mouth. So let's say you've chosen cold, you'll basically hit the enemies with ice breath. Also, this is an exalted base ability, so what happens is it drains. Sorry, not an exalted base ability, but it's more of a drain based ability. Moving on to his number 2 ability, depending on Chroma's elemental alignment, an offensive area of effect is created. Chroma and its nearby allies are imbued with defensive energy. So in other words, based off of which element that you guys have chosen, so let's say you've chosen electricity, what's going to happen is you will be creating an area of effect and you'll buff your nearby enemies. So in other words, if you've become a heat Chroma, what's going to happen is you'll buff your nearby allies with an extended health pool. If you've buffed yourself with cold, what's going to happen is you're going to have more armor and a little bit of damage. If you've buffed yourself with electricity, you're going to have a lot less armor, but you'll have a lot of damage output. Now, I do not know what toxin does. You guys can read them there. Feel free to pause the video and see what toxin does, but there's toxin for you guys. Moving on to our third ability, Vex Armor. When shields are hit, Chroma and nearby allies' armor grows stronger. When health takes a hit, weapon damage increases. Now I'm pretty sure that's pretty self-explanatory. If you take damage to your shield, your armor goes up. If you take damage to your health, your damage goes up. Very easy, very straightforward. And finally, we have Effigy. Chroma turns into a pelt into a massive sentry that strengthens nearby allies and effigies enemies into the elemental attacks. So basically it becomes a turret that kills enemies. Think of a sentry gun from Call of Duty. So that's all his abilities. Let's take a look at the build I've supplied you guys with. So here's the build for Chroma. As you guys can see, there was no forma used whatsoever. That rhymes, by the way. But anyways, if you guys use this particular mod setup, you will be focusing on duration and power strength, because that's how you build Chroma. With that being said, let's go over the mods. So we've got ourselves Growing Power, Intensify, Augur Secrets, Blind Rage, and Transient Fortitude for more power strength. The more power strength you guys have, the more damage you will deal. Next, we've got ourselves Primed Continuity and Narrow Minded. This gives you duration. The more duration you guys have, the longer your Elemental Ward and Vex Armor lasts. With these two mods put together, it will last 55 seconds. Now, that's a lot of time. If you guys do not have a Primed Continuity, don't worry, it does not mean it's the end of the world. Just simply slap on a normal continuity and you will be good to go. Next, we've got ourselves a primed flow for bigger energy pool. Once again, if you guys do not have the primed version, don't worry, a normal version will work just as well. Even look at mine. Mine's only like at rank 6. Anyways, for our next mod, we've got ourselves Vitality for a bigger health pool. Now, with Chroma, I feel Vitality is much more effective than Redirection, and here's why. When you're playing as Chroma, what happens is you are able to change into your elemental form, or you can change elemental types. Here's what I mean. If you're playing as an electric Chroma, with a simple push of a button, you'll be able to go from an electric Chroma to a heat Chroma. Now, when you are playing as a heat Chroma and you activate your Elemental Ward, Elemental Ward's ability for a heat Chroma will give you a much bigger health pool. And that's about it. If you guys do not like how much efficiency you guys have, here's what you can do. You can simply replace Intensify with a Rage or a Hunter Adrenaline. And here's what Rage does. Basically, any form of damage that you get taken directly to your health, 40% of that damage will be converted into energy. Feel free to pause the video if you guys want to read up on the mod. And Hunter Adrenaline does the exact same thing with Rage. The only difference is that Hunter Adrenaline is a little bit more effective and is a lot easier to get your hands on. And as you guys can see, it fits perfectly, but that's entirely up to you guys. Now in the arcanes department, listen, if you guys do not have arcanes, once again, that is not the end of the world. You don't simply have to worry about it. But if you guys have arcanes, here's what I recommend you guys have. If you guys have either Hunter Adrenaline or Rage on, simply roll with Arcane Guardian for more armor and Arcane Grace for more health regeneration if you get hit directly to your health. But for me personally, I want to go with Guardian and Energize along with an Intensify right here, because you know I do not want to worry about taking out the Eidolon limbs, because playing Chroma, especially the way he's been changed a lot, is a little bit tough. Let's move on to the rest of the video. So now let's go over the build. Now as you guys can see, Chroma is really good at taking out limbs without any troubles. It's just that if you're with a squad can buff you and you can take out the limbs with just one shot. Most particularly either Rhino in your squad or have a Volt and shoot through Volt Shield, because Volt Shield does benefit crit weapons. If you guys want more explanations, I'll leave a link down to my Eidolon hunting guide down in the description, and I'll suggest you guys at the top right. But anyways, with this particular build, I am running the build with Rage, just because you know I'm running on solo and you do take a lot of damage, so by me having that, I can at least easily replenish my energy. I'm also running generic. One more thing I need to mention to you guys is, even though Chroma can easily take out limbs, he still has one major problem, and that is the new damage system, or the new self damage system, let me just say. Here's what I mean. So basically, before, what you could do is you could basically just take a glaive, modify explosive slash, and slash yourself. What this will do is you'll easily be able to max out your damage output, because that's how Vex armor works. You need to take damage directly to your health. Thanks to shield gating and the new self damage changes, it makes being Chroma a lot difficult. But if you guys do like to play as Chroma, go for it, he is still viable. You just have to make sure that your Vex armor is continuously up, or that you can damage yourself easily by standing in front of the Eidolon, or let the Vomulist shoot you, or go find a nearby Grenier base. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for today's video. If you guys liked the video or if it helped you, leave a like. Spartan, click the subscribe button for more Warframe videos. I'ma make like a banana and split.